check something here. A few days ago, like 3 days ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the delegate system of electing party leadership is no more in existence. And for that matter, every registered member of any political party is supposed to be part of those who should decide who should be their leader, which means they are all supposed to vote. Now, if you look at it, it's just the legal part is there, but there's also the part that has to do with data. And this part, it came with two important things. That is, it means that for every person to be able to be a member, a voting member in a good standing in any political party, that person too should be a voter. That means the person's information must also be in the national database. All right, you see that. So it means if you are not a registered voter, you cannot also be a registered member or someone who can vote in a political party. So we have two major parties, the NDC and then the NPP, which is here. Now, what about if there are people who have registered in both NDC and also in NPP? That is dual membership. Is it allowed? No. What about if a political party decide to just, register people who are not voters or who are not part of the national register? Is it allowed? No. So how do we filter these people out? How can Electoral Commission confirm that all those who said they are members of NPP or who are registered members of NPP and can vote in their internal elections are part of the national register? And the same thing applies to the NDC. So I want to show you how to be Electoral Commission will be able to confirm that. Now, let us assume that the data you have on the screen now, let's say this is the Electoral Commission database. And you can see I have named the sheet EC. I've named another sheet NDC, another one NPP. So we are currently in the EC sheet. And we have, this is the voter ID card column, the name of the person, and then the contact. The other details, I decided to ignore them. So this, let's say this is the national register. NDC register is also here. They have their voter IDs here, and the names here, and then the contact. And then NPP is also here. Now, how do I know if all the members of NDC here are registered voters in the national register, which is here? And so, how will I also know whether some of the members of NDC register here are also members of NPP register, which is here? That's the simple task we are going to do. And I'm going to show you how to be able to use Excel, three functions in Excel. That's its number, match, and then the filter function, as well as the if function. We are going to put the four functions together to see how we'll be able to do this very easily. Now, the first thing is to go to any of them. So we are currently in NDC database. So what the Electoral Commission is going to do is to take the NDC database, just like you have seen, and then align it with the national register to see whether all the members of NDC that they say they have registered are registered voters who are part of the national register. So how do we do that? We can use an if statement to be able to find out. But we're going to compare like three different functions. So I'm going to come here first of all, and then select, so this particular column here, EC, I want to find out whether the person is in EC. This particular person, this is the voter. I'm going to start with equal sign and I'll say if. We're going to use the if function. And in this case, The if function, we are saying that if is number, and then we're going to use the match function. Then we are matching with a value. What value is that? We're matching with this particular value. The first value here. So that's our lookup value. So our lookup value, remember, we are working in NDC sheet database. We are over there. That's what EC will be doing. So this particular one we have here, that's A2. That's our lookup value. Where is our lookup array? Our lookup array, it means that is the range of values that we want to compare these IDs to. So our lookup array will be in EC, the overall database. So we have to refer to the EC database, which is in this particular sheet, EC sheet. So I will put there E and C, but because it's in a different sheet, add exclamation mark to it. Now, when we go to that sheet, which particular range are we doing this comparison? Right. So we are doing it in the first column. The first column, which is A. But so we start with this and A, which is also equal, and then is to A. The reason why I lock the EC sheet and then the first column where the ID numbers are found is because we don't want it to be changing. The only value that will be changing will be this column. So we leave that one A2. So when we move, it will become A3, A4, then that order. But for the EC array, we need to lock it up. That one will not be moving. And that's it. So that's the lookup array. I put my comma there. Do we want exactly? Do we want exact match or we want closer match? In this case, we are looking for exact. So we'll add 0. And then when we add 0, I think that is all for the match. And then we are now looking for the is number function. We are done with that. And it's left with the logical. So we bring comma there and say, if all this condition is met, if the match is there, then we should return a value and say that present. So I'll now type present. It means the person is present in the EC database. Other than that, we should say not present. And then remember they are strings, so they have to be in double quotes. Then I'll close it up and tap enter. So this person is present. So I'm just going to come here and double click here to fill. So you notice that this particular person is not present. If we also check here, this person is not found in EC database. The rest are found in EC database. That's simple. So we can now simply filter out those that are not present in EC database. EC will take those ones out. Why? Because they are not found in their database. The second thing we need to do is to find out, are there some dual membership or dual registration? Are there people who are members of NDC and also members of MPP? Yeah, we have people like that. So we are going to come to this point and then use the filter function. Or maybe let me come down a little bit. I feel good to do that. So I'm going to start with the equal sign, and then we use the filter function here. What are we filtering? We are currently in the NDC database. So we are filtering from A to D. So I'll just put A to D. And then we bring, because we are going to match, we'll use the is number function again, and then use the match function as usual. And then, of course, our lookup value. In this case, because we are going to match, we are not moving from one point to the other. So our lookup value will be the NDC, the first column, that is the ID numbers. That's where we are going to do the matching. And because we are working in the same current worksheet, we don't have to identify the worksheet. So we'll simply say A A is to A. So it will select only the A column. And then what are we matching it with? We are matching it with NPP. So I'll go and select the NPP sheet. So I'll select NPP and bring exclamation mark because it's a different sheet. And then around that place, what are we matching with? We are also matching with the ID numbers. ID numbers. So A, but because we are not even going to be sliding, there's no point putting or fixing them. But for the purpose of best practice, let me fix them. And then that's it. So we are looking for exacts. So we'll put 0 over there. In this case, we are not using an if condition. So we simply close, close again, and close for the last time. And we are done. When we do that, it will filter out those who appear in NDC and also in NPP. So we tap enter, and you notice that all the values, these are the ID numbers of those, and these are the names, and these are the contact numbers, and then their presence, whether they are registered with EC or not, they are found here. So this set of people have dual registration. They have registered as members of NDC, and they've also registered as members of NPP. And now the interesting thing is that when we go to whether they are present in EC database or not, we can check. This particular person has a dual registration, NPP, NDC, but not registered with EC. He's not a voter. He's not a recognized Ghanaian voter. Another person is also here. We can see that person too also is not a voter. It's not found in the national registry, in the national database, EC database. But he has membership with NPP and NDC, and then in that order. So this is how we can simply, identify all those who are not registered voters within the EC register in the 18 million. It's just some few codes ran away, and then we're able to filter all of them out. And then we can also do this head-on comparison to know those who are having dual city, what is the dual membership, NDC and NPP, and then any other party at all that we want. We can always do this comparison. If I go to the NPP side, it's the same thing I'm going to do. So this is what I have done with the NDC sheet. The EC will do the same thing with the NPP. When the NPP also submit their register to the EC, EC will have to make sure, first of all, to find out whether all the members of the NPP register are registered voters in their register. So they have to use the first function, the if function, to find out if they are present. If they are not present, filter out those that are not present. And then compare that to other political parties like NDC, CPP, and find out whether some of them have dual membership. And then that is it. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful, and I hope it's very simple and clear. And then that is it. Please remember, the people I have here, I just simulated this data. The people I have here are just imaginary people. They know nothing about what I'm doing. I just created their names. Some of them are my friends. I know their names. And then that's all. So thank you. I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.